Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Let's talk about Cesaro. So, there's a lot of advocacy out there for Cesaro. You know, people who think like Cesaro is, one of the best workers in the world. He should get a shot, a chance at the brass ring, a sustained push. And I said to myself, I've been watching Cesaro for 10 years in WWE. I saw him a couple of times in Ring of Honor, but he didn't really stand out to me. And that's the problem. Cesaro is a good hand. All right. He lacks intensity. All right. He lacks presence. He lacks promo skills. He has no character. He's been in WWE for 10 years. What is the character of Cesaro? There is no character. His character is he likes wrestling. And doing 20-minute work rate matches will not get you over. It won't. You need to do things, Sure, there was a time where that was enough, and occasionally you'll get a guy who, for like a Chris Benoit, where, Chris Benoit gets over by doing 20-minute work rate matches. But Chris Benoit also was, had an intensity. He had a presence. Have much of a personality. He didn't have like a large, gregarious personality. But he was a man that engendered respect. And you knew that you were in a fight when you were in there with Chris Benoit, because he made everything look good. All of this stuff looked like it hurt. And it looked like he was tearing you apart in there, or at least trying to. Cesaro has bits of that. But he still just doesn't have the mean streak. Even in the matches, like he'll have a long match and he just never seems to kick into that second gear where it looks like Cesaro is going to hurt you. He looks like a guy who's doing everything he could, but he's doing everything pretty well. But he just doesn't have it doesn't look like he's in a fight. It's very hard to quantify that. But it is, he's just missing so many different intangibles. It's very hard to say. He's a likable guy, but not lovable and not hateable. So there's nothing about Cesaro for you to absolutely hate him, but there's nothing about him for you to actually love him either. You have to be a fan of purely work rate to think that Cesaro should be world champion or something. And look, I'm okay with if he was to become world champion tomorrow. All right, let's say. I would say, you know what? Cool. That would be cool. But how long would it last before, he's in mid-card feuds and some rando is in the main event spot over him? He's in the middle of the show. He's not as important as the champion should be. He's a closet champion. What CM Punk was when he was the world heavyweight champion way back when. It's not the same thing. You can put the belt on work rate guys and give them some credibility so that they can work, upper mid card feuds later and be a good hand in that spot. That's what they did to Dolph. It's what they kind of did to Sheamus. So and Sheamus has a lot more personality than Cesaro. So I don't dislike Cesaro, but I just have to ask the question, why do we want this so badly? I just see him as a guy who is really good at wrestling, but there's a lot of guys who are really good at wrestling. If you're just gonna give a guy 20 minutes to go out there and work a match, why not? We don't know what the hell Mandy Rose can do in 20 minutes. Well, maybe I went too far. Maybe let's not give Mandy Rose 20 minutes. But I'm saying is, if you're going to, invest so much time in somebody and get very little reward for it, because, I'm not going to be an asshole. He's not a draw. He's not been put in a position to draw. But I don't think that there's nothing about him when I look at Cesaro that screams big time main event WWE superstar. I just don't see it, and maybe there's something under the surface, but I would think after 10 years, we would know by now, right? After 10 years, we would have found, and a lot of different personas, a lot of different looks for him. I think we would have saw something, out of Cesaro by now. But we haven't seen anything. We just saw Cesaro was a good hand. And if you give him 10 minutes to work a match, he'll have a hell of a match. He can do some pretty good spots. He's strong as hell, technically proficient, but that's not enough. Not to be the face of the WWE, not to be in a top spot in WWE for too long. You can get there, but you won't be there for too long. But let me know what you guys think. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
I can only be great.